What's up, everybody? It's me, your boy, the Tantalizer One, back with another video. And this one is about Sasha Banks. Yes, the blueprint. One half of the former WWE Tag Team Champions with Naomi. We'll talk about her in a later video. But this is about Sasha Banks and the entire debacle from Monday Night Raw, May 16th, on why Sasha, along with Naomi, had been suspended indefinitely and been stripped of the Women's Tag Team Championship. Now, let's do a little backtracking. We all know that Sasha Banks is very vocal about the business, how much she loves the business, how passionate she is about the business, and also how much of a chip she has on her shoulder about the business. She once felt like she's even on Stone Cold's level. She said that on the podcast. Let's first of all talk about Sasha's accolades. Sasha is a former NXT champion, a former, I believe, 3-time WWE Women's Tag Team champion, a 6-time Women's champion, headlined WrestleMania. She's been part of the Women's Royal Rumble, the first woman in Women Hell in a Cell. She's done just about everything. Sasha Banks deserves all the credit she's given, but with credit also comes criticism. And here's the criticism for Sasha Banks, in my opinion. If you don't agree, put it in the comments. Let me know. You can give me a thumbs down if you're not liking it either. Hey, listen, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, I get it. Your opinion is yours, and mine is mine. But here's my deal. On the May 16th episode of Monday Night Raw, Sasha Banks, along with her tag team partner Naomi, the then Women's Tag Team Champions, was scheduled to compete in a 6-pack challenge against Doudrop, Nikki ASH, Becky Lynch, and Asuka. The winner of that match was going to go against Bianca Belair. Now, here's the thing. It was rumored that Naomi was to go over. That means she was going to win the match. Now, some reports say that she was going to pin Sasha. But my sources say that Sasha was not going to get pinned by Naomi, but Naomi still was going to win. The other rumor was that Sasha Banks was going to go into a program with Ronda Rousey, respectively, the SmackDown Women's Champion. So you have the SmackDown Women's Champion, Ronda Rousey, going against Sasha Banks, and then you have the WWE Raw Women's Champion, Bianca Belair, going against Naomi. Both women from the Tag Team Champions were supposed to lose. So Naomi was going to lose to Bianca, and Sasha would lose to Ronda. That was the rumor. That was what's speculated. So they weren't happy with that, according to sources. They then grabbed their Women's Tag Team Championships, walked into Laurinai's office after some debates during the day, and they put their tag teams on the title and left the building. Directly after that happened, on Monday Night Raw, they actually mentioned that Sasha Banks and Naomi walked out. Now, it's also being reported that stuff was being fed into the earpiece by Vince McMahon, and Corey Graves basically called them unprofessional, and they were being crybabies. And listen, that's his opinion. And if he was being told that, no shade on Corey Graves, because the boss tells you to do something, you got to do something. So, a lot of people on social media and a lot of my pages that I see, a lot of wrestling pages, a lot of people are supporting Sasha Banks and Naomi's walking out. And I don't disagree that they should be upset and they should be frustrated that the Women's Tag Team Championship is never booked properly. But here's where I'm going to go off and disagree with a lot of people. And people watching might not like it, but here it is. Everybody who's saying that, oh, they did a great job by walking out, here's what they did wrong. Number one, they're no longer the Women's Tag Team Champions. Now people say, oh, what's the big deal? The titles mean nothing. The titles do mean something, especially titles like that have not gotten the proper booking the entire time anyone's had them. This could have been the time for them to really put their foot down in a different way. Because once you walk out, you now breach your contract. Let's talk about contracts. When you go to work every day, and I'm pretty sure you're watching this, you're not working for the WWE. If you go to work, you don't even sign a contract. You just go to work and show up. So if you work for UPS or in my case, if you work for the school district, if you work for any job, and you walk out of your job, do you keep your job or do you get fired? So, here's the thing. We all know how wrestling works. We all know that sports entertainment or wrestling, or whatever you call it, isn't perfect. There's some great matches in every organization. But when you're a professional wrestler or a sports entertainer, you sign a contract, especially in an organization like WWE. And that means, as bad as the booking is, as bad as the writing might be, guess what? You signed. You signed on the dotted line, which means you have to fulfill your contractual obligations. So, they walk out, they throw the tag titles on the table, and now what happens? They're suspended indefinitely without pay, and they're stripped of the titles. So who are they helping exactly? Who? Who are they helping? Because they can't do anything sitting on the sidelines, and everybody say, oh, we support them. People like Ruby Soho, who's no longer with the company. All these people support them. I mean, Shayna Baszler put a little something on her Instagram or her Twitter, but they're not speaking out. You don't hear anybody in WWE speaking out for them. You don't hear the women's locker room saying, we're not going to wrestle. You don't hear any of the men saying, we're not going for that. You don't even see Roman, who is Naomi's cousin-in-law, or Jimmy Uso, who's her husband, saying, oh, we're not working until you reinstate my girl. So really, what you must think about is this. Sasha Banks is the catalyst of this whole thing. And let me tell you why. Sasha Banks, as great as she is, all the accolades that she has accomplished, everything she's done from main eventing WrestleManias, to being in the triple threat at WrestleMania, to winning the women's title, to, my phone's going off because it's Vince. Not now, Vince, I'm busy. From being the first women in Hell in a Cell, from doing everything, being the first women's tag team champion. She's done it all. NXT women's champion, Brooklyn takeovers, making Izzy cry live. Shout out to Izzy out there, everybody. It's befuddles me that you get to live your dream, and of course you can be frustrated, and of course you can have qualms with your boss, but you don't walk out. Now people say, well, Stone Cold did it, and this one did it. Yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin walked out, and he stayed with the company. He didn't complain before that. His gripe was legitimate. In case you don't know, Stone Cold walked out when he didn't want to wrestle Brock Lesnar on regular television. He wanted it for a pay-per-view. So I get that. But this is a entirely different scenario. Sasha Banks was already women's tag team champion. And yes, she was going to lose, but she was going into a program with Ronda Rousey, the most mainstream wrestler other than Brock Lesnar in the company. And was Naomi going to lose to Bianca Belair? Yes, but so what? You got a problem putting people over? Naomi's hurt by this now because she had a chance to be in a main event, get a shot at the women's championship, and now she doesn't get it. Here's the other thing. How does Sasha or Naomi, or even us for this matter, know what the plans were for them after they lost to their respective opponents? If I'm booking, and my mindset is this. Okay, Sasha lost to Ronda in a great match, and then Naomi loses to Bianca in a great match. And then they come on Raw the next night saying, we had him by this much, girl. We almost had him. But you know what this means? We got to focus more on the tag team championship, and we got to eradicate everybody. And that way you get a little edge. You have them destroy every tag team. Now, could that have been the plan? Maybe, maybe not. We'll never know. Do you know why? Because they walked out. Now, it was said that Naomi was supporting her friend Sasha. Kudos to Naomi. Respect. But here's the thing. Naomi was going to be in a main event title picture. Sasha has always been in the main event. What's the problem? We all know that people have depression. We've seen that on her documentary on the WWE Network, Peacock, whatever it's shown on. I get it. This place, WWE, wrestling will burn you out. But my job burns me out. I'm not walking out. Okay? She signed a contract, fulfill that contract. All she's done now is she's shown that when you don't get your way, I'm going to take my ball and go home. Yes, CM Punk did it. He was gone for 7 years. And even though, yes, I'm CM Punk Sharon. Even though people chant his name, CM Punk, I didn't agree with that either. You can't sign on the dotted line and walk away. That's just me personally. I'm a man of chain of command. I was in the service. I believe that if your commanding officer tells you to do something, no matter how asinine it may seem, you follow orders. And you know the rest of business. When you're booked in a match and they're telling you this is your direction that you're going, you do the best you can with it, and you roll. You know, I've seen a lot of terrible gimmicks that you have to roll with. The Red Rooster, you know, the Gobbledygooker. You know, we can go on and on. You do what you're told. So let me know what you guys think about this whole Sasha Banks thing. And yes, Naomi will get a video later, but this is about Sasha. I personally think Sasha Banks has made a major mistake. Will she be released? Because if you think Naomi will be released, that's not going to happen. There's no way the wife of the unified tag team champions, Jimmy Uso, and his cousin Roman Reigns are letting Naomi walk or get fired or released. Sasha's a different deal entirely. And if you think, I see all these things on social media, oh, Sasha gonna go to AEW. Do you really believe that Dr. Britt Baker and the rest of those women are going to just welcome Sasha in to get a women's title match right off the bat? The best place for any wrestler, if you want to make big money, if you want to be in a high profile, is WWE. No matter what you think about AEW, I think it's great. But listen, the dream is to get to WrestleMania and main event WrestleMania. And she's done that. So in my opinion, she's being a little bit of a crybaby. Now I know I'm going to get some flack for that, and it might backfire on me, but I'm just telling you, I just think that she could handle it better. I think that she could have, you know, just maybe not reacted so abruptly. And of course, right then, in the heat of the moment, you do what you do, and she stands by it, and God bless her. If she believes in this, good for her. It's her life. She's the ultimate judge. I'm just saying, as an outside fan looking in, I wouldn't have walked out, and I don't agree with her walking out. Let me know what you think. Give me that like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell where you know, so you can see when I'm doing the video again, because I will have a Naomi video down the road. And don't forget, everybody, I'm on Twitch, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, and of course I'm here on YouTube. So check me out, Taylor Lives and Tony. Just type it in everywhere, and you'll find me. I am your YouTube champion. I am your TWF World Heavyweight Champion. That's me, your boy. Hey, listen, everybody. Hug your family members. Pray to God every day. And as always, do as I do best, and that's stay tantalizing.